All right, welcome to yet another fabulous Sunday night news and nonsense. And I'm doing the intro this week because Total OS today's intro last week was kind of lame. How you doing, Total OS, today?
Lame. I'm leaving. What's up? I've always liked saying
I couldn't resist.
Yeah, thanks. Well, wait. Here's Spatry's way of saying what's up. What's horse stable? Spatry, speaking of horse stable, I heard you were knee deep in Linux. How did it work out for you, bud?
It worked out very well. Last night, we started the Linux Zoo Crew. It's back every Saturday night, courtesy of the Linux distro community, here at 8 p.m. Saturday nights, UTC -5. And I might have links in the show notes to tell you all how to get here.
Cool. I was waiting for that, and I knew if I waited long enough, it would hit. I knew it. Anyway. Linux Mint has an announcement. Well, they released an announcement that Linux Mint 16, due in November, will be called Petra, which in Greek means rock, which, of course, if it's a rock, it must be stable. Haha, but that is coming out in November, so there you go.
Hey, that's kind of cool. And, usually when we refer to a Linux distribution as being a rock, I mean as in rock solid. So, yeah, that's a pretty nifty idea.
Very appropriate, yes.
Android is dueling with Windows 8 on the Samsung Hybrid. Samsung is making a bold statement with its Windows Android laptop tablet. Windows 8 alone doesn't cut it on highly mobile devices. Now, Windows 8 and Jelly Bean make an odd couple, but Windows may be the odder of the two in an increasing mobile world. Samsung on Thursday announced the ATIVQ laptop tablet hybrid, running both Windows 8 and Android. While it appears to be a Windows 8 laptop at first and Android device second, the fact that Android 4.2 or Jelly Bean is only a tap away signals that Samsung believes consumers need a pathway out of Windows to a more mobile-centric world.
A hybrid Windows 8 and Android is very unusual. You know what? I'd have to disagree. I think Windows 8 is just fine on mobile devices. The phone, the Nokia phone, or at least one of them. And of course, the Surface tablets. We've talked about Windows 8 on a desktop. It looks cool, but it's not my style. It's definitely not yours. But a hybrid Android Windows 8. Of course, the question is, Spatry, is that stable?
I really don't know. The thing is, I did look at the screenshot here, though, and it actually looks like a laptop computer more than a tablet.
Okay, so it's done something completely different. Look, if it's stable and it works fine, it sounds cool, but hey, I kind of have my doubts. Look, if you want an Android tablet, just buy an Android tablet. If you want a Windows 8, tablet, that's fine too, but to combine the two, it sounds weird. Speaking of Microsoft, remember we had somewhat lambasted Microsoft for their restrictions on the Xbox One. Do you remember that?
Oh, that's been stirring up controversy all over the internet. Everybody is really ticked over that.
Let me pour some water on the flames because, as I always said, I reserve judgment until the end. And that's true for Linux too, by the way. Microsoft did listen to its community as I predicted. And as of, I saw the release statement a couple days ago. You will be able to buy, trade, and sell used games, no problem, no restriction, and your machine does not have to stay connected all the time. So we don't always praise Microsoft, but on this, they did the right thing. Listen to the community members. They didn't like what they heard. Microsoft has backtracked, and at least for some of us who for a lot of us who have the Xbox 360 at least and are planning to buy an Xbox One, for me next year because I'm a big fan of Halo, I think it was the right thing to do. What say you?
Sugar-coated feces is still feces.
Leave it to you to trash and step forward.
I mean, come on. It still has, they still have the ability to spy on you and see what you're doing and all this other stuff when you're connected to the device. So, sure, you may not have to have it connected all the time, but the game isn't going to work until you plug into the internet. Yeah! Speaking of ticking off consumers, Canonical's Mir move doesn't sit well with some Linux developers. Now, according to Linux World, nobody could accuse Canonical of resting on its laurels. The business side of Ubuntu, the best-known desktop Linux distribution, has expanded aggressively into mobility, pushing forward with a new desktop environment and continued to release new versions of the flagship OS over the past few years. But not everyone's happy with the direction in which Ubuntu is being pushed, however. The new desktop environment called Unity quickly became a target for some community critics who preferred the traditional GNOME environment. A search pane feature that displayed results from third-party sites like Amazon was attacked as a privacy breach. Canonical's latest tiff with the community at large centers on the recent news that it would introduce its own display server, the underlying software stack that powers GUIs called Mir. The idea, according to the company, is to create a flexible platform for the Unity Next interface, which is meant to be an adaptable, one-size-fits-all offering for desktops, TVs, tablets, and phones. It's an ambitious plan, but one that doesn't sit well with developers of alternative desktops that use the older X or Wayland display servers. Thanks to open source nature of Ubuntu, a host of spin-off distributions have sprung up around the OS, some of which will have to be dramatically overhauled after the eventual switch to Mir. That will mean a lot of work, thanks to a decision they didn't have any say in.
All right, so let me get this straight. The X server has been around for like 57 years, and we're arguing about that. Where Ubuntu, and I defend Ubuntu on this, they are taking control and going towards a highway of standardized quality, an operating system that I defend, at least 12.04, which I love, booting into this more than Windows 7. Now, you know what? One of these days, we need to get Alan Pope back on, because I want to thank him personally for a stellar system. So they want to branch out, and have their own display system called what? Mir, because they want to control quality. Spatry, what's wrong with that?
Well, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that per se, but the thing is, this just goes along with something that Lunduk was saying in one of his videos that I recently saw, that sure, we have something that works real well, and when there's an old saying that goes, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. But in the Linux world, it just seems like, if it ain't broke, let's just fork it and make something that is broke.
Let's break it down. Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Well, look, you can't knock freedom to do what you want, but there is a price for freedom, and that's, I guess, for lack of a better term, forking things up. But I will defend Ubuntu.
Yeah, let's fork it up.
Right, but I will defend Ubuntu on this. I think Canonical is on the right direction. I love 12.04, and of all the systems, that is the least horse stable. I love this. I love Linux Mint. Of course, I love Zorn, but I give Ubuntu 12.04. If I had to give it, what's the percentage of horse stable? 1% or less. I won't give it 100% because, the issues like the Mir, like a standardized display server, a standardized screencaster, a standardized multimedia suite, those are the things that are missing, in my opinion, to completely replace a Windows-based operating system where there are, at least for me, less issues. But I think Ubuntu is on the right track. I praise them for it. Go for it. Don't listen to the naysayers, because in the end, at least from this dual booter, it all comes down to what works out of the box, what is stable. I have the same standards for, Windows. Of course, Windows 8 is not for me, but when Windows 9 comes out, if it doesn't work or if it's not there, it's horse stable. So why wouldn't Canonical have a system that stands out from the rest? They control it and it's completely stable. I see no problem with that.
The only problem is if you really, really, really expect to see standardization in Linux, I think you're going to have better odds of making ice cubes in hell.
I know that, but phew, it's getting hot in here. Ooh, no, but listen, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, Zorn, and their offshoots, they're about as close to standard as you can get. But there's nothing wrong with having a quality standard, which I think Ubuntu comes close. But that's my 2 cents worth. So.
All right. Well, okay. and that 2 cents won't buy me very much, but go on with your next story.
Okay, drum roll. The nonsense report. I came across this morning on the NPR News, and I didn't believe it's... Here it comes, folks. Right. I listened to it. I didn't believe it, so I looked it up. Apparently, Spatry, this is real. I guess females in China, they have a problem with unwanted male attention. So they have someone, a girl, a woman, a company, have invented fake leg hair stockings. Now these stockings...
You've got to be kidding me.
No, there is a picture on the news channels, maybe even on YouTube. Now when I say leg hair, I'm talking jungle forest disgusting type of fake leg hair stockings. This is what I saw. And it's so bizarre because I was thinking about this. Now what are the odds of an American woman, female, in this country wearing something like that? I'm guessing the percentage is 0, because if a woman wears something like that here, something like that here to ward off unwanted male attention, you're going to ward off everybody, not just the guys that you don't want to really talk to. It's bizarre. I've never seen any. I mean, look, we've had some pretty wild nonsense stuff on the show, but fake leg hair stockings. Look it up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, as you were telling me this, I decided to, ask Big Daddy Boss Nass, Mr. Google about this, and I can't I got a picture of it. It's on CNN's website, and yes, it looks disgusting.
That's putting it mildly.
It looks real, too.
Yes, it does look real.
Yeah, okay. I got some nonsense I think you might enjoy.
Try to undiscuss this, will you?
Yeah. Seeing hairy legs on a woman, that's kind of scary.
Yes.
You're a Star Trek fan, aren't you?
Absolutely. I loved Star Trek Into Darkness. Yes.
Well, Star Trek stars' ashes are going into space.
Interesting.
The remains of the creator of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, who conceived the original 1960s TV series, will head for the final frontier alongside those of James Doohan, who played Scotty.
That's right.
And then, of course, Majel Barrett, his wife, who played a number of roles in Star Trek in the original series and also played Deanna Troy's mother in The Next Generation. Her ashes are going up into space as well. And and this is funded by a company called Celetis, I believe it is. They'll be part of a cargo that includes other cremated remains, written messages, and samples of DNA in capsules sent by the general public. Now, there's still room for the space flight. The price for sending a loved one's ashes into orbit is starting at $12,500. So if I were to kill you today, total loss today, we can have you in space in about a week for 12.
I propose. Oh, shut up. I propose we send in space the ashes of Windows viruses and Linux bugs. How does that sound?
No, we'll just send Windows up there. Linux is okay.
Fine, keep the bugs on Earth. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, but we're always getting bug fixes, whereas Microsoft may release a bug fix once every month to 5 months.
I don't have bugs in Windows. I don't have bugs in Windows. I got to worry about viruses, which sucks anyway. But yeah, well.
Please don't rehash that show we did the other day. I still got a migraine from that one. And I thought I thought we came to a concession here, but I guess we didn't, because here we go rehashing the same old crap over again.
Well, you know what? I give up.
And that was yet another fabulous Sunday night news and nonsense. Thank you, Total West, today for being with us. We'll be here every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. That's UTC and -5, New York time. And thank you, everybody in the listening room who decided to pop in and join us. It looks like we had a nice crowd tonight. Hey, Toss?
Yeah, there's more than a few. Thanks. Sure. Thanks everybody for listening in. This is always fun as usual. And yeah, the Sinner Report is back. Thank you so much. We'll catch all of you next time.
Yeah. And you know what? We even had an epic crowd last night. I couldn't believe the number of people that we had filling up Mumble yesterday, because I hadn't seen those kind of numbers in a long time. So now that the Zoo Crew's back, we got the news and nonsense back. Let's bring fun back to the Linux distro community.
You got my vote.